Hey, I didn't forget about you. You're a person that needs to be in a place where you are working close with someone else, a mentor, a friend, someone that could take you to the deeper and more intricate parts about being a sales engineer, but you don't know where to go. Learnful is a program that allows you to work with people that are high ranking sales engineers, solution architects, solutions advisors, and they're able to not only mentor you, but teach you the ways to become a sales engineer that can be impactful for you. If you think that Learnful is for you, go ahead and click on the link below for more information. You can use my promo code Joseph150 to be able to save. Go ahead and click the link below. And now back to our show. We are live and in living color, y'all. Welcome to another edition of Techniche Tips. I am your host, Joseph M. Smith, and like I always say, I have another one for you. But before we get into it, go ahead, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. And I see we got already somebody here, Grape Sodar, in the building. Thank you so much for stopping by. Definitely appreciate you and happy for all the things that are happening in your life. I know you and I talk offline about it, so that's exciting. Good morning, Mitch. So glad to have you in the building. We are going to have a really good conversation today. Mitch is always representing, always standing up, so we appreciate it. So what I want to say is if you are on YouTube, go ahead and like, comment, and if you have not already subscribed, I'm going to have some exclusive things that are going to be coming out very soon. In fact, I'm going to be starting a members only community on YouTube very soon. And this members only community will not only have exclusive interviews and conversations that they are part of, but they're going to be also getting insight from myself as well, me kind of sharing some personal things. So it's going to be really good when we get to that point. So you definitely want to lock in. If you're not subscribed to YouTube, I don't want you to miss out on that. So go ahead to the YouTube side and subscribe. But before we dive deeper and before I introduce my guest that you can see on the screen right here, I'm going to go back to the comment section because I got Darcel in the building. Good morning, fam. Like, comment, and share. That's right. And Tech Coach Ralph is in the building, senior QA analyst himself, the man in charge. What up, what up, what up? Good to see you, bro. Y'all locking with Tech Coach Ralph. If you have not done that already, he has a lot of great content, especially if you want to get into the technical side of things. So that is going to be great. And yes, we are celebrating with you, Grape Sodar. Mitch is like, let's go. This is going to be a lots and lots of fun. And so without further ado, I have somebody here, Rich Novated, who is in the building. I want to just say, what up? What up? How you doing? How you feeling? Are you feeling good?
Man, I'm feeling good, bro. I'm feeling blessed right now, man.
Yeah.
Just great energy around me. Great things are going. I'm really excited to plug in on your with your community, man, and really just share the journey. So I appreciate the opportunity.
And I appreciate it as well. So if you are enjoying this conversation, anybody, listeners, if you're enjoying this conversation, I encourage you to share this with others. We want to get the word out about these awesome conversations. Last week, we were talking to Chanel Rose about GovTech. Before that, we're talking to Tech Job Tina about all that she's doing and how she was promoted to AE in 9 months. So there's so much that we could definitely dive into, but we want to share the wealth with others, right? So go ahead and share this conversation. But I'm not going to steal his thunder. I want Rich Novated to go ahead and specifically share about what he's doing right now, and then we're going to dive further in your story. So, brother, go ahead and share a bit more about your story, where you are in regards to what you're doing right now, and then we'll go ahead and dive in.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity, bro. So again, my name is Rich Novated. So, Rich Novated is just my name, Rich, with the word innovated all into one. So I look at myself, really as a forward thinker, right? So someone being able to take my thoughts and think in a forward mindset of where I can now create better, for humanity, for everything. So thinking in that creative mode. So I am originally from North Philly, to be exact. I'm currently in North Carolina right now. And I'm the founder of S.T.E.M Plug, as you can kind of see in the background. So S.T.E.M Plug, S.T.E.M Plug is an organization where we plug in everything about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math through engaging ways through, my podcast, the S.T.E.M Plug podcast, as well as different books that I've written. So, I'm the author of a children's book called Diversity in STEM that we'll kind of dive into a little bit more. And I'm the author of a book called Engineer Your Way that just came out in September. So, I'm all about really taking my experience is in science and in engineering. So I have about 10 years of experience in science and engineering as a scientist and as an engineer, but very technical, right? But I really look at myself as a communicator. So
Yeah.
really taking my experience and now how can I communicate that in a fun and engaging way? Because me, kind of growing up, like, I wasn't interested in the sciences and stuff like that. And we can dive into a little bit more. I didn't really
Yeah.
get interested to like I was in like 12th grade. And so I'm all about making stuff now really engaging for the youth and just making it fun. So really the plug of STEM, that's what I call myself. And really just looking into to plugging into the world and just make everything fun and engaging.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And I have to also give you a shout out because you have a podcast as well. If y'all are not locked in with him, he has a STEM Plug podcast, and you can see the episodes here where he has guests that he has interviewed as well. As we have Bobby, a friend of the show, who is here as well. Bobby the Builder, tech recruiter. You also got Larry Long Jr., another friend of the show. So definitely lock in with him. On this channel, we love to share what people are doing and get the word out. And so we love to see that another podcaster is here and he has a wealth of information and knowledge to share with the audience. So go ahead and lock in with him. But you said it. You came from North Philly. I'll say West Philadelphia, born and raised, but that's not true. You were North Philly, born and raised, and you moved to North Carolina. Let me ask you, between North Philly and North Carolina, where did that love for STEM originate from?
Man, so the love for STEM really, I would say the love. I can tell you where it began at, right, and then the love kind of came about. So the STEM part really didn't come until my 12th grade year in high school. Like I said, I wasn't one of these
Mm,
kids that was like interested in stuff when I was like 7, 8 years old. Like, nah, that was not me. So literally, like my 12th grade year, I had to do a senior project, and I did my senior project on kidney disease. And my aunt, she had kidney disease like my entire life growing up, and she passed away before I got to high school. So
sorry to hear
me,
that.
yeah. So me, um, in my senior year, I did my project on kidney disease because I wanted to understand like what she went through and kind of like just reconnect with her. So me doing that project, it kind of got me interested in science in the sciences. So when I got to college, like I didn't know what I wanted to study. And I remember talking to my mom one day and she was like, "Oh, why don't you study biology? Like you like to doing that project on kidney disease." So literally me doing that project kind of got me that interest, and then once I got to college, I studied biology, and then I really just became a lifetime learner. So I'm just that's why I look at myself as a lifetime learner. I just love, learning about science, learning about like different things around STEM, and things kind of all came about from there. So,
No, yeah, and I first of all, again, like I say, sorry for your loss. My condolences, because even though it's been years ago, we those loved ones that we have, they're still with us. You know what I mean? Like in our memories and our thoughts, we see a
yeah,
picture reminds us. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. But you know what? Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. I mean, these are subjects that we really need to see more people engage in. And so I'm so glad that you're championing this. So let's say you decided to go ahead and moved from North Philly and you went to St. Augustine's for biology, like you just mentioned.
yeah.
How was that for you? Why biology? I'm just curious.
Uh, so yeah, like I said, kind of directly from the project that I did. Literally, that's how it started. Like I
Yeah.
started from like I did that project on kidney disease, and I started like really when I did that project, I really started to gain the interest of just like really understanding different things about science. So as
Mm,
I did my project in high school, that senior project, I started to understand like how the like human body functions and just the different biology about it and things like that. So when I got to college, I wanted to kind of dive deeper into it. It was just an
yeah.
interest. Me just wanted to learn more. Like it's like once that side of your brain opens on something, now you want to just like dive into it more. So that's kind of where I got. Like I was there. I had that introduction of doing that project on kidney disease. Now I'm like, all right, maybe could just start to learn more about this. So that's when I studied biology. Decided to study biology, and then kind of just went from there.
Yeah. And the reason why I asked that is because you went from biology to engineering. And so
Yeah,
I was curious about that transition. How did
yeah.
that more or less form or morph into engineering?
Yeah, nah, really, bro. It's a journey, right? And this is why I even go into my name of Rich Innovator, being a forward thinker. So, like when I graduated college back in 2015, I was a scientist for about 4 years. I did some neuroscience research with the government. Then I went to different diagnostic labs. So one of the diagnostic labs that I was at, it introduced me to automation robotics. So I was doing like different experiments and stuff on the automation robotics and stuff like that. And one day I just had a moment where I was just like, yo, like I'm really getting tired of the science side of this. Like I can only imagine like the engineering side, how that can be maybe, right? So I had that forward thinking
Mm.
mindset. I started even thinking like 5 years from now. I'm like, I can only imagine where this automation and robotics will go like in the next 5 years from now. So I started to take that initiative. Like when the vendor would come in to like do different preservative maintenance on equipment, I'm shadowing them. I'm learning different stuff. So I became that key person. Whenever he would come in and have to do some work, to lock in with Rich. He locking in with Rich. We gonna get it. And then like, so after that, I got an opportunity at another company that was like, wanted somebody that had some introduction experience, with different automation robotics equipment. And they gave me an opportunity, and then it was full blown. After that, I went straight into automation engineering role. So automation engineering is very interesting because like, it's my science foundation is very important, and then it also implements the engineering part of it as well, just like developing the different robotics and everything like that. So it really everything kind of came all intertwined. So yeah,
Yeah, you literally are S.T.E.M. You had science in there. Then you move
yeah,
into technology, engineering,
yeah,
and mathematics are so aligned,
yeah,
and so y'all gonna have some questions. I know Tech Coach Ralph is like he already put it up here. He said automation, eyes wide open, because he's
yeah,
that's his world. Like he like let's talk about that. So when you became an automation engineer, what were the key things that you learned about that? Because some people here are like they might be interested in getting to that field as well. What are the prerequisites for somebody who wants to become an automation engineer?
yeah. So bro, like one of the things that I always talk about, man, and I'm actually I'm about to little plug. I'm actually about to do a TED talk in Charlotte next weekend, really about around this topic. It's just
All right, flex, flex.
talking about transferable skills, man. So like, as an automation engineer, I would say one of the key things is just really being a critical thinker and a problem solver, right? Because, I might be in the lab and I might a scientist might come to me with a specific problem that might happen with one of the robotics or whatever. And I have to be able to critically think and problem solve of like, is there something maybe wrong with like within the experiment that's being running? Is it a was it a user mistake, or is it something within the engineering of maybe something needs to be taught differently with one of the robotic arms or something? Just giving an example. So really
Yeah,
just being having that understanding of really knowing how to problem solve and really critically a critical thinker. I would say those are some of the big transferable skills. I'm a mindset person, man. Like I'm not,
yeah.
even though you hear all this scientist, engineer, I don't consider myself a technical person by any means. Like even though it's technical rules, I'm more of a mindset person. I've used my mindset and
Mm.
my training and just my experience, and now I really get in those rooms, and now I'm able to do the technical work too. So
Ooh, let's pause right there. Let's dive deeper into that. You said mindset. When you
for
say
sure,
mindset, what does mindset mean to Rich Innovated? Because
yeah,
some people might be like, "Hey, this might be right now the golden nugget for a lot of people." Because
yeah,
mindset, if you don't have the right mindset, and you can't push past that barrier, then there are a lot of things that are going to seem like I can't do this because of X, Y, and Z. Let's break that down for everybody. What do you mean by mindset?
yes, no, for sure. So first of all, with mindset, like number one, I would say just embrace yourself, right? Embrace everything that you've been through in life. Like even for me, I see, I'm the founder of STEM Plug now, different background in engineering, science. I embrace me being from North Philly all the time. From North Philly, I graduated high school with a 1.8 GPA, but none of that stuff defines me to where I'm at today. It all was
Mm,
just, different paths along my journey. So really just embracing everything that you've been through in life, and knowing that you do belong where you're at, right? And I always like to say, like, a lot of people like to say within tech and different things, the line of we at the table now, we at different stuff like that. I'm like, nah, we are the table. You feel me?
Woo!
Like,
Say that one
we
more
are the
time. We
table.
we are the table.
We're
Wow.
not just at the table, we are the table. So when you go in there with that understanding and that mindset, I mean, sky's the limit. So that's kind of how I look at it, bro.
Listen, we are the table. If y'all agree with that, I wanted y'all to put table in the comment
Let's
section
do
now.
the, let's
Say
do the
we
tables, man.
are the table.
We are the
And if you
table.
if you want to get sophisticated with it, find a table emoji, put it there as well. But but you know what? Because the mindset has to shift. It's not like a Oliver Twist. Please, sir, may I have some more? But understanding, like, no, there is a reason why we're here. We have something to contribute. I think that's a beautiful mindset, to have. And let's even dive a little bit deeper because this is something that I think a lot of people may need to really kind of simmer on, if we're going to say it like that. Mindset, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, that sounds beautiful, but how do I obtain a mindset like that? Is there a book that I read? Is there a podcast that I listen to? Is there where should I go to be able to develop a mindset like the one that Rich Innovated has?
Hey, bro. So that's a perfect plug. I appreciate it. So definitely my latest book, Engineer Your Way, that just came out in September. That is I would say a perfect book around mindset, right? Because I'm all about different messages, right? So as you see, Engineer Your Way, you may think this book is just about engineering because I told you that my background is in engineering, but this book is really about going into that mindset, right? Of how the mindset of Rich Innovated, right? So really, I don't know if you can see the table of contents, but just to give you a kind of little background, engineer is a acronym, and it goes into embracing, like I said, embracing everything that you've been through in life, right? Now, once you embrace everything you've been through in life, how do you navigate those different avenues? And then even going into gratitude, like I said, I'm a man of principles. I live my life just based off of different principles, and gratitude is one of the biggest principles I live upon. Like I said, I appreciate you for having me on your show. And it's like when you have that gratitude mindset for not only the good things that happens in your life, but the journey as well, man, you'll be surprised at different things that you're blessed upon.
Mm,
And then
mm.
even going into innovation, right? So innovation, I look at innovation of just having a really forward thinking mindset, right? So as I said, when I made that switch from being a scientist to an engineer, I made the switch back in 2018. But I was thinking 10 years from now in 2018, I'm like, where is this automation and robotics going to go to in like the next 10 years from now? So now really having that forward thinking mindset, and then kind of even after that, like how are you really nurturing yourself as well, right? So how are you really taking care of yourself? I know as an entrepreneur, there's many entrepreneurs, different people in technical fields. We always think that, oh, if I'm sleeping, I'm not doing something right, or I gotta be go go go. But nah, like you got to take care of yourself, nurture yourself, and really going into those areas. And also two big other things I just want to drop within the book that kind of goes into the acronym or emotional intelligence and really empathy for others as well, right? So how are you kind of moving in rooms? I know, especially as a black man in America, you got to have your emotional intelligence down pat, man, because I can definitely attest to like there's different times and moments where it's like I really have to use my emotional intelligence in this situation right now, right? So yeah, bro. But yeah, that engineer your way definitely can plug in on there, and especially the STEM Plug podcast as well. Like I said, myself, I'm a lifetime learner. So literally on my podcast, I'm literally learning from other people that are doing different things in STEM. And, I'm just plugging it in with the rest of the world, right? So they might come from a technical background and they're able to share their story in an engaging way, but also just share you the mindset. So
All right.
that's
This is so
right there.
good. This
Yeah.
is so good, y'all. This is so good. As you can see, the book is up here, Engineer Your Way, Living by Design. You can go ahead and purchase that book at shepublishingllc.com. And if you
You
look it
go to
up, if you go
you can go to richnovated.com too, bro.
richinnovated.com. Perfect.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you could definitely go check that out. And while you guys are afterwards checking that out, I'm gonna put the link in the description as well if you're on YouTube. So after the show, I'm gonna go ahead and put that link in there as well. So that way you can be able to check that out for yourself. And listen, y'all, this normally we ask like technical questions. Some of them might be formulated towards getting a job or things of that nature. But I want you all to take advantage of the fact that Rich Innovated is here. Listen, he's going to have a TED talk on this. So if you have any mindset questions that you may be thinking about that may have popped into your head, like as he was talking, you're like, huh, and you had a pause moment and you're thinking about something that he said, go and put that question in the chat below. If you're on LinkedIn, if you're on YouTube, sorry, Instagram, if you're on Instagram, you have to come either to YouTube or LinkedIn to ask a question so I can see it. But for everybody else, go ahead and put a question in the chat below because we're going to the Q&A section about less than 9 minutes. So we're going to do that very soon where you can have your questions asked by a TED Talk speaker. It's very soon. So this is a really great opportunity for you to do that. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And I think this is a great segue to talk about the other book that you have that you mentioned earlier. And can you talk about, and I purchased that book when I met you. I purchased that
Mm,
book for my young one,
yeah.
and because she's very her name is Lydia, and all my kids are very, we homeschool our kids, are all very intuitive,
Oh
but she
wow.
really has an eye for science and things of that nature. So can you talk about that book? And while you do that, I'm gonna probably look for it so I can put it up on the screen as well.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Yeah, so if you go to my website, richnovated.com, it'll be on that website. But yeah, sure, I love to share about so diverse and STEM, right? So I just gotta kind of give you even the journey of how I got to diverse and STEM, right? Um,
Please.
so like I said, background in science and engineering. And, it sounds great when you hear it, though, to say that you're a scientist or engineer. And, I've been writing for years, like since I graduated college, and just like little short stories, different things like that. And I've always been inspired by Magic School Bus. I actually still watch it to this day, just to get different inspiration on different things. And but I slept on those ideas because, like I said, got comfortable of just being a scientist or engineer. It sounds good. But then in 2019, almost lost my life in a car accident. And I really started to live my life by different principles because like I just got to the point of just like, what do I want to give back to the world and not just take, right? And also just living like, a lot of people go to their deathbed with their dreams and ambitions, right? So I had the idea of the book, and then Diverse in STEM, came about in 2022. So it was definitely a process of writing this book. This is actually the deluxe version of the book. It has coloring pages in it as well. But yeah, this came out in 2022, and the vision really just came about from really a direct impact. Everything I do is a direct impact of my life, right? I don't look at myself as a coach, none of that stuff. I just share my life journey and then help and try to help others and inspire others, right? So the story of Diverse in STEM is a book of 10 different 10 different children, 10 different diverse children that all have different personalities, and they're led by a teacher named Miss Joy. And Miss Joy is from Ghana, and she helps them really um, connect their different personalities to different areas of STEM, right? So, for example, you have a character, another little plug. If you haven't noticed yet, I'm all about like hidden messages, right? So, as you can see
Yeah.
on a whiteboard, it says "Know Thyself." Then all the letters that the kids are actually holding, that's the first letter of their name. So, as you can see, the character, for example, holding the D, right? Domingo, he likes to draw. So, but he's also quiet, right? So the teacher is now able to take his direct personality and now show him an area of STEM that he might can go into when he gets older. So going into being an architect, or Richie, for example, little plug, which is actually me. Richie, for example, it might take him a while to pick up on a certain concept, but that's actually helping him critically think and enhance his creativity. So now she shows him
Mm.
like robotics. So, oh, maybe you can go into robotics, right? You can be a critical thinker and go into robotics. So This is actually the introduction to the book series. We have more books that will be dropping out at a later date where all the characters will kind of be going into the area of STEM that they kind of introduce in this book. So, and in this book, you're kind of the introduction of this book, you're going to kind of see where they're kind of see introducing their different personalities, their backgrounds, and then the area of STEM that the teacher kind of introduces to them. And then I'm gonna have a book that's gonna go dive into each one of those specific areas that they're kind of plugging in this book, man. So yeah, that's kind of where I got to, and also kind of creating the book, like I said, was a direct impact of my life as well because, like I said, I wasn't interested in STEM and different stuff when I was younger, right? So, but now with that being said, I do a lot of mentorship with like different robotics camps and different stuff with different kids, and I see how a lot of kids like are more advanced than what I was at a younger age, right?
Yeah.
So specifically for my community, for the Black community and different things like that, I'm trying to make stuff more engaging where kids can kind of get interested at a younger age because myself, like I'm a transparent person, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I felt like I was playing catch up with a lot of stuff, even when I got into STEM, like I
Yeah.
got into studying biology and different other stuff. Like I felt like I was playing catch up because I wasn't like into it like all growing up compared to like maybe a kid that was into it at a younger age, right? So that's kind of how the book came as well. I'm like, man, I want to plug in kids at a young age when they can just get engaged and just like how they see all these rappers and different stuff like that. I want to be an engineer or a scientist, or even in the book we got like way more like different things besides just a scientist or an engineer. And then the cool thing about STEM now, I think a lot of people don't even realize is like a lot of things within science, technology, engineering, and math are coming about where you don't even need a 4 year degree, right?
Mm.
Experiences, you don't need a 4 year degree. I mean, yes, sir, yeah, some roles you might need a 4 year degree, but like the way that things are going and the way that the world is going, you have those certain skills. You might not even need a 4 year degree. So
Brother, man, I was looking at the book when I bought it, and I want to tell everybody this: the quality of this book is great. This makes a great gift for any young person that you know that is interested. And when I say young, I'm thinking about my daughter's age. When I bought the book, she was like 8 years old, so that I think was like a great age for her. And even young, it could be even younger, it could be even a little older. But like this is a great book for someone that you know, a child or adolescent who is interested in getting into this field. There's other areas we could color in it as well, and like it's very thoughtful. Like you said, you were very intentional about this book, and so when I saw the book, I was like, yeah, I have to get you on because it was definitely something that I think a lot of people can benefit from. Listen, y'all can get it from Amazon as well, if and as well, but I would encourage you to get it from richinnovated.com and go and get it from his website directly. We want to make sure we also support support the brother, all the things that he's doing. So
yeah,
yeah, go ahead and go to richinnovated.com for that information and go ahead and grab it so that
yeah,
way you can be able to bless and somebody that you know this is really good stuff here, and I'm going to put it down here so people could see it as well. Sometimes we need to really see it, but richnovated.com, again, richnovated.com, and you'll be able to see not just that book that we talked about earlier, but his other book, Engineer Your Way. All right, so we're about to transition over to the Q&A portion of this conversation. So we love you, LinkedIn. Unfortunately, if you want to ask any questions, you have to go over and you see it in the ticker in the below, youtube.com/ at Techniche Tips. That's youtube.com/ at Techniche Tips to be able to be a part of the Q&A portion. You're gonna be able to ask them anything about mindset, about being an author. Some people want to write books and they don't know how to go about doing that. We could talk about imposter syndrome. There's so many things that we could talk about because he kind of hinted on that a little bit earlier as well. Go ahead, write your questions below, but we're going to transition the conversation over to youtube.com/ at Techniche Tips for the remainder of this conversation. And like I said, it's going to be a live Q&A happening right then and there. So you don't want to miss it. Don't delay. Definitely encourage you to go ahead and jump on uh, jump on that. But before we do that, Rich, is there anything you wanted to say for those that, let's say, they like, hey, I've been thinking about transitioning into this field, or I could see myself in the science, technology, engineering, or mathematics field, but I don't know. I don't. There's something that in me that tells me that I'm not fit for this. What would you
Mm.
say to that person or that individual?
Wow, wow. Yeah, I mean, I would say, and then kind of going back to transferable skills, right? When you overall and look at your entire life, right? Your entire life. For example, me in high school, I was a party promoter. I was a party promoter in high school. And I look at that was actually a transferable skill to what I'm doing today. Because
Yeah.
as a party promoter, I had to be a problem solver to figure out how we gonna get like different teenagers to the like different spot that we having, right? So when you kind of look at, I literally, and this is why I call my, my name my organization STEM Plug. I look everything in life is science, technology, engineering, and math. So when you look at it with that mindset, it's like, why can't you? If it's entire life, why can't you just plug into it if it's something that you found that you're interested in? And then a lot of times we get intimidated by things, and it's like the harder you just got to go for it. Like for me, right? You asked me all these questions about how did you become an engineer and different stuff like that. If I would have had that mindset of just like, oh, I can't be an engineer because I don't have an engineering degree or I don't have direct engineering experience, and I
Hmm.
never even applied to the automation engineer position I applied to in robotics. I would have lost out on all this experience and different things I've done in the past 5 years. So you just gotta just look at life in a different way. Just understand and look at it as like literally all the skills that everything. I'm talking about everything that you've done in life. It can be transferred into a technical role or something like that. So yeah, that's kind of what I would share, bro.
Love it, man. Hey, y'all, there's so much more that we're going to be talking about, so much more in store. So go ahead and lock in with us as we now transition to the other side of this conversation. Go ahead, youtube.com. You see at the bottom there, and we'll see you on the other side. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm back again. You talked about Course Careers Technology Sales Course and what it did to change my life. Wait, there's more. Not only is it technology sales information technology courses as well, now there's human resources, customer success, UI UX, and did I even mention that there also is software development as well, front end, back end, and DevOps? Listen, this is something that you definitely want to take advantage of. So go ahead, click that link. Don't forget there's a discount from me if you click that link, and I hope to see you on the other side. Do you feel stuck? Do you feel like you're just at the same place in your career and you don't really see a way out? This is a great time for you to take it to the next level. Level Careers is a course that I've been talking about for some time. From account executive and even sales engineering, there are courses that can help you propel from where you are now to where you want to go. Check out the link below. Use my promo code Joseph10 and check out the free courses, whether that's the SOC analyst course, the account executive course, or the sales engineer course. Take your career to the next level. All right, y'all, we're back. And right before we go on, I just want to say thank you from the word from our sponsors. If you were here early, we had Learnful. That is I guess, yeah, it's more like a mastermind boot camp, really focused on mindset, like we talked about today, that really helps people in the pre-sales arena get into roles by working really on mindset and skill development. Nigel, a principal SE at HubSpot, that's his group and his course as well. You can check that out. Link is in the description if you are with us on YouTube. And for those that are interested in anything where it comes to tech sales or it comes to even being in software development, Course Careers has different packages and different things at a very reasonable price, ranging from 500 to 700 in regards to getting into these industries and learning what it means to get the base knowledge so that you could be able to go ahead and get in the industry. And then from there, you'll be able to scale. And speaking of scaling, that's where Level Careers comes in, because it helps you not only transition to being an account executive if you're in tech sales, a SOC analyst if you're in IT, or a sales engineer, but it really has a community there as well. Really good people. Kevin Dorsey teaches that course as well. So you definitely want to get involved with that. Josh McAdor, he teaches as well for the IT and SOC analyst course for course careers and level careers. So you know you're in good hands. Go ahead and check those things out as we move into the Q&A portion of this conversation. And so right now, y'all, we are about to get into it. But I want to go back to something that, you've kind of been hinting on it a little bit in your questions, but I want to get a little bit more direct. Where was there a moment that you felt like you had imposter syndrome and an account that you can remember? And how did you overcome that? I mean, obviously it's the mindset, you worked on that, but like a real life scenario where you're like, man, this is, I don't know what I did just now, why I'm here, but Lord, help
Yeah.
me get out of this.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, so probably like when I first graduated college, um, no, honestly, so the imposter syndrome for me probably came first when, so I went to an HBCU. Like I said, I went to the I call it the Raleigh, North Carolina. Shout out to the so in 2013, I did a summer internship at University of Southern California, and like I said, I went to an HBCU, all black students. I'm from North Philly. So I when I first did this internship, like I was the only like black person at the internship. It was in like environmental science. So I kind of had a little bit of imposter syndrome at that moment because I was just like started had a moment like, dang, did they like select me by accident or something? Like what's going on? I didn't know, right? So that was my first time. And then also like probably after I graduated in 2015 as a scientist, I definitely had some imposter syndrome that would come in from time to time where I'd just be like, wow, like like I'm the only person that looked like me here and things like that. But honestly, my imposter syndrome, I would say really, when I was a scientist, really, I really had a lot of imposter syndrome. So from like my early career, from like 2015 to like 2018, I really had a lot of imposter syndrome. But one of the things that really helped me was just like community, right? So I know as I left from being a scientist to an engineer, I actually joined the National Society of Black Engineers. So shout out to NSBE, joined the NSBE chapter down here in North Carolina, and I've been part of it ever since. And I've been, part of NSBE on a higher level and like our regional level and stuff like that. So really now joining really community of like engineers and different people that are doing all this stuff, where it really helped me with my imposter syndrome and also kind of like gave me that confidence as well. So that's something that really helped me, is just like community, right? So yeah, that definitely helped me. And then just kind of going back to it as well, getting to the point where just like really embracing everything that I am, right? And not looking at the opportunity of, oh, I'm the only one in the room. I'm looking at it as I am the room, right? So I switched up my mindset, switched up my thinking of not, I'm looking, you feel me? So, and that's what really helped me.
We are the table. Like you
Facts. We
said,
are the
we are
table.
the table.
We are the table.
Yes, y'all. So go ahead, put your questions below. Don't be shy. At times like these, when people are when the chat gets quiet, it's because people are really thinking. They're like, man, you hit something. You hit a couple of things that got people really kind of like, oh man. So go ahead and put your questions in the comment section below. But I want to go back to something that you said earlier regarding automation, because looking at your background, being an automation engineer, I know you broke that down earlier in regards to what it is, but even beyond that, what are some, because you talked about the future, like what are some careers that in the STEM arena that you think people should be looking at in regards to, I should probably start working towards this now, because in the future the demand for it will be very high, and I'll probably be sitting in a good position, based off your opinion, of course.
Yeah, I would definitely say, man, anything in like AI or like data science, man, I feel like that's the future, bro. Like even going into like when I was saying like, kids might need a degree in the future. I really feel like in the next like, and this might just be me saying this, but I really feel like in the next like maybe like 7 to 10 years, it might be shorter than that. I feel like students might can get a data science job like right out of high school if you
Ooh.
got the right training. That's kind of how I feel, because there's so many companies that are looking to scale. They need to like, analyze data, different stuff like that within AI. So I really would say like the data science field is really a great area to go into. Anything with data science and AI. Also, really kind of going into now looking at that skill of being a problem solver as well, right? So like, there's so many, I would say, tech jobs where like you don't have to be tech like know how to code, but if you got that mindset, you know how to solve problems, you can be able to make a nice career within STEM. So I really see a lot of that kind of coming about in the future. That's like kind of a good area to kind of dive into.
Yeah, it's so funny you say that because actually I work in the AI space as well. And what we do is we pretty much have technology that infuses within contact centers, whether it's, collections, whatever the case may be. And I mean, I could dive deeper into it. That's another conversation, but it really is funny because about 7 years ago, the company was knocking that bell like, hey, AI, and everybody's like, what? And now it's like everybody's saying, quote unquote, that they're doing AI, but not really a lot of people are doing custom real-time AI,
Mm,
and so it's very different. It's not bespoke all the time. Sometimes it's keyword based and all this other stuff that they got going on.
yeah,
So even understanding those nuances within the space will set you apart. And
yeah.
so I want to go back to that data
Definitely,
science. Go
definitely
ahead,
feel
go ahead.
like I just wanted to add to that, man. Like even to the AI point, right? Like I went to this conference called AI 4 back in Vegas in August, and like, just like one of the biggest AI conferences in the country, and
Mm,
wasn't many people that looked like us that was there. To be real, and I feel like just having diverse minds and diverse thinking is important in these fields in AI, because like now you can tell like a lot of stuff within AI is not thought of and curated to people like us, right? So we
yeah.
really need those diverse minds and that diverse thinking that can kind of like help, really make that stuff more feasible. So
Yeah, and even in conversations I've had with people that are creating or behind this AI, it's intrinsic bias seeps in,
yeah,
right? And it's not on purpose, oftentimes, but it's just who's creating these LLMs, these large language models. Who are the ones that are behind it?
yep.
They're not us. So it's gonna kind of curve a certain way. So that's a really good point. And I think that we could definitely dive into that more. But I want to go back to something you said about data scientists. You
Mm.
believe that high schoolers could literally leave high school and jump into that? I'm just curious because I'm like I never
It's
thought
gonna,
about that before.
it's gonna go
Go ahead.
viral. I mean, I don't know, bro. I personally believe, for example, if it's the right high schooler that knows how to like really build relationships, that's one of the most
Mm,
important things in life is building relationships, right? So, for example, like I know I've been a mentor with a Froch robotics team down here in North Carolina. Shout out to the Cyber Bears, it's all black high school robotics team in Raleigh. But these kids, like even within like First Robotics, right, they're able to do different robotics competitions while they're in high school, and there's different companies that's there that's able to maybe they might be donating different equipment to the kids so they can build a robot, stuff like that. But the kids are able to now really even build relationships with these different companies and see different things like that. So if it's a
yeah,
high schooler that's able to, you know, have a forward thinking mind, right? You have that forward thinking mind, and you have on your idea of that's what you want to do, and you're able to build those relationships. I mean,
yeah.
I think it's feasible. I think it could happen, especially with so many like startup companies that's out here. You know,
Mm,
hey, maybe
yeah.
STEM plug might have a data science role open for a high school student. Hey,
Come
years.
on now.
Who knows? Who knows? So
That.
yeah.
Mm.
But
Well, you thought it.
I'm not trying to say like I don't encourage college, because college was
Yeah.
definitely a great experience for me. But I'm just saying like, you feel me?
No, I feel you. That's why you're rich and innovative because you literally created you probably could be creating a new stream right there to be the plug literally the step plug to get these high schoolers into these companies who are really gifted and able to do it. Now,
Yeah.
one thing though, and listen, y'all, if y'all don't have any questions, I'm gonna keep on talking until time's up because I got some questions now that we have this conversation rolling. I'm thinking about our young people who have grown up in the time that they've grown up. Like I grew up with a cell phone, but I had the Nokia block, right? My phone was Snake. My games were Snake, right? My games were, our games were like that. And so this generation is growing up with phones, with social media, and a lot of different areas, but lack a lot of social skills in regards to connecting and even communicating. It's very hard to get my 60-year-old sometimes to even look me in the eye. Sometimes our oldest one, but I think a lot of that has to do with just the overwhelming wave or avalanche that they're experiencing with these screens. So, how would you say, or what would your encouragement be to those that may have a young person? They're gifted, they're smart. Like going back to our oldest one, he hasn't he's has we moved to New Jersey. We went to a school out here. He hasn't missed honor roll since he's been in the 7th grade, and he barely brings homework home. He does it before he gets home, right? Or he might do a project like late at night, and he hasn't missed the honor roll. They're gifted, but they lack the social skills. How would you say for somebody that is in that place to overcome? Because like you said, they need those relationships against these companies, but they lack the social skills that could be holding them back.
Yeah, bro. That's a tough one. That's an interesting question, man. And that's really um something that I think about as well. Because like even within STEM plug, like I'm at the point now with like, with I have the book Diverse in STEM, but we're also now at the point of like, brainstorming different technologies to scale our message even more. And but I also go to the point of just like how to really help, children or different things be able to interact in social settings, like you said, right? Um, so I would really say of just like being able to put them in environments and put them in real life situations where they can like really start to critically think, right? I think that will kind of like really help with things as well. But also like I hate to say this, but sometimes we gotta meet kids where they're at, right?
Mm-hmm.
we gotta meet them where they're at because I go through it as well, just like how you were saying, of just like how can you really help with those social skills. But yeah, I would really say, man, just sometimes we gotta embrace it and meet them where they're at, but also have that that end in mind as well, where okay, now can I really help them critically think? I know they're all into technology. They don't want to put this down, but how can I make sure that this is actually still making them critically think? And that's the
Mm,
biggest thing, right? Being able to now take something that you see and you're able to actually critically think about it. It's not just like giving you the answer, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
hope that
No,
answers
I think.
your
Go
question.
go ahead.
No, I said I hope that answered your question.
Hey, no, I think it's a good conversation piece to have because we're growing in a world. These are our teenagers, our children. They're the leaders of tomorrow and today. So we have to like equip them for the next generation of leadership that they're going to be going into. But sometimes, every generation, they look back and they say, "Oh my gosh, I'm concerned because of X, Y, and Z." But our parents did the same thing about us. So,
Yeah, it's always something, right? So that's why and that's where the problem solving stuff comes in, right? Of just like
mhm,
even at the moment now, where I'm trying to see about like within STEM, I'm trying to see the engagement piece, right? So now how can you fill that gap with anything that a child might be interested, might be have an interest in a certain things, to having conversations with them to help them critically think, okay, like how can you now fill that gap? You're interested in
yeah,
this. Where is it maybe a problem in it? And maybe where can you now fill that gap? And then that's how a creator starts, right? Understanding how, and looking forward to be a disruptor. Like I know STEM plug, I consider myself a disruptor of what I'm, how I'm trying
mm,
to bring engagement into STEM and stuff like that. But that's innovation.
yeah,
Being disruptive is innovation, right? You're not doing it the same exact way as it's already been done,
Mm,
right? So
yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
yeah,
Well, what my last question, and if the audience has a question, they could chime in. But this is my last question for you. You've obviously going through that networking piece. Actually, let me put it up here because Tech Coach Ralph has a response. He said, "My problem is parents don't try to push their kids in the STEM direction." Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. Like I've been. He wants to be a graphic designer. I don't know if that kind of ties into
yeah, for sure.
ties into technology, right?
Yeah,
Um, but even so, I want him to kind of experience enough within this world so that he'd be like, you know what, I thought I wanted graphic design, but really I like UI UX. Like you know what I mean? Like just kind of being able to kind of get a little taste of everything. I think it's important for our kids to get that taste, but how do they get that taste if they're not put into the environment or the opportunity, like you said, to try, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, and kind of
Right.
going to that statement of parents don't
Yeah.
push children into the STEM direction, right? I think it all goes into the model of just like when we think of STEM, we think of everything is so hard, right?
Mm,
So a parent is like, I don't want to push my child into this. Like, this is too hard for them. Like, they're not gonna be into this. This is too hard. So that's
mm,
what STEM plug is is doing, right? We're making it, engaging through books or through our podcast that different people are able to get on, and now you're able to see them share their life story. You able to hear on one of my episodes, you were able to hear from a bridge designer, right? But the way he's
yeah.
able to break it down, you like, wow, like I didn't know it was maybe that simple to be a bridge designer or something. Like I didn't know it was that cool, right?
Yeah.
But that's why I said it all goes into the mindset, right? So but yeah, that is something that is important as well as with the parents, right? Because like you can easily like maybe teach them into the school, but once they get home, if the parents ain't maybe following up for it, you know,
Mm,
where does it go, right? So
yeah.
it's a journey with trying to get that all together, but you know,
Yeah. I was gonna actually when you're talking, remind me of this quote from Leonardo da Vinci that says simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. If you could like if you break it down in a way that's simple,
yeah,
then that shows like, man, this is so you got this. You got this.
exactly.
My last question for you is you have speaking about networking and connections, you obviously have done a great job of leveraging your skills and the things that you've developed over the years in regards to books and things of that nature to catapult you into TED Talks and being interviewed by different publications, different news outlets. How are you able to leverage that? Because some people might not realize, but listen, y'all, this he's connected, right? There's a lot of things and opportunities that have come his way. How are you able to leverage the two?
Yeah. It really goes from the and I'm going back into mindset, right? Um Everything that I do, I'm looking to give value. I'm not looking to get anything in return. So even getting on your platform, I just wanted to give
Mm,
value. I wasn't looking for anything in return. So everything that I'm doing, I'm really looking to give value. So even with my TED talk, I mean, I'm not going up there talking about STEM plug or talking about different books that I have out. I'm talking about transferable skills that I've transferred in my life that now people can look at their life and look like, oh wow, I can really take different skills that I had and I didn't even know I can maybe translate this to something else, right? So really having that mindset of being just adding value to people. That's how I look at my life. Is how can I add value, not what can I take from somebody else. And then just looking at life like that, the opportunities come to me tenfold, right? So just having a mindset like that of just giving value, the value comes back to me. So yeah,
I love that mindset. Don't look to take, looking for opportunities to give, looking
mhm.
for opportunities to be a problem solver. That's fantastic, my brother. I really appreciate you saying that. Rich Debated, so glad to have you on the show. I love that you were able to share so much valuable tidbits. If y'all appreciate it, go ahead and put a clap emoji in the chat. Let us know that you appreciate this conversation. Go ahead and connect with Rich Novated on LinkedIn as well as you can go to his website, richnovated.com. I'm going to put it up here again in case you did not see it, but richnovated.com so you can purchase either book, Engineer Your Way, or Diversity in STEM, uh, you could go ahead and purchase those books on his website. He also has other gear as well. He has a hat as well as
Yeah.
other things there as well. So you want to definitely check in, lock in with him. And Rich, I just want to say thank you again for being a part of the show. And for those that have liked what you have seen so far, go ahead and subscribe not only to my podcast here at Techniche Tips, where you can find your home in tech, but also go ahead and again, he has a podcast as well that you could, I believe it's called a STEM plug as well. It's called a STEM plug podcast. We
Yeah,
just talked about
yeah,
earlier.
we on Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music. So yeah, really, like I said, just adding value. So I have different guests that plug in and share their story within STEM and share subjects related to STEM.
Yeah,
And just kind of just plug in. So yeah, definitely plug in with that for sure.
love it, love it, y'all. Appreciate you like always. Thank you so much for rocking with us. Until next time, I hope to see you on the other side. Take care, family.